Hey guys, how's it going? So, Gaijin, the company who made the computer game War Thunder, recently released uh, one of their newest games, and it's called Enlisted, or at least they released the open beta. It's in beta, and I've been playing the heck out of it. It's a lot of fun. It's free to play. I definitely recommend it to anybody wanting a casual World War II first-person shooter. Uh, However, there's some things that I noticed with it. So I've been playing the Germans, and a big focus of this game is the infantry combat. Yeah, there's tanks and planes, but the main focus is infantry, and there's all kinds of neat guns that you can equip your men with. Basically, the deal is you play as a soldier and you lead a squad of bots around on the map and play the game. Well, like I said, I've mainly been playing the Germans, and I've noticed that they two of the guns that are featured for the German faction in the game, Gaijin messed them up. They're wrong, and I'm gonna show you how. I can't be too hard on them because, after all, it is only in beta. However, these are some fairly big mistakes in terms of how the weapons function and what they look like. So, without further ado, we're gonna get into it. Okay, guys. So this is the first gun. This is the M95 Steyr Mannlicher carbine. They've included this in the game, and I'm really thankful for it. However, they messed up the reload. I'm going to show you that in a minute, but first let's show how it's done historically, or in real life I should say. So if you've got an empty gun, you open the bolt, take your end block clip, and you load it in. And then you'd fire, and when you're done firing, the clip falls out the bottom. Okay? Fine. They do that in the game. However, if let's say you've got a half-empty magazine, so let's say you've only got 2 rounds left, and you want to have a full gun, what you have to do is press a button inside the trigger guard, eject the existing clip, and take a new one and put it in. You can't single load cartridges. It's physically impossible to single load a cartridge on top of an existing clip in this gun. Now I'm going to show you a clip from the game so you can see what they do. Okay, did you guys notice anything odd about that? They just kind of take their single cartridges, push them against the top of the gun, and then they magically just disappear from the dude's hands. They don't actually put it in the rifle. That's because you physically can't single load a cartridge. I mean, yeah, you can kind of like depress this, but you can't actually, it's not loading into the magazine. That's because it requires the clip to work. There's no way that I can finagle this cartridge and get it into a magazine that's already in there. I have to pop this end block clip out in order to do that. Like, I understand why they did it. Every single other bolt-action rifle in the game, you can single load cartridges into the top off the magazine. So they probably did it for gameplay balance or just to make it simple so all the bolt-action rifles are functionally the same. However, in real life you can't do this. I understand this is a game, but this is something that really bugs me, and I hope that going forward, since it is only in beta and it hasn't been fully released, that they'll fix this. Because honestly, it's really not a disadvantage to the player to have to just quickly eject and then reinsert a full clip. It's not any, doesn't take any longer to do that than single loading in a cartridge in, or at least what the animation they have in the game. Like I said, Gaijin, please fix that. That's wrong. I would much rather have an accurate M95 rifle in the game than whatever that disappearing magic cartridge loading thing is that you guys have programmed. Okay, that's the M95. Now let's move on to the bigger offense, the thing that really got me. So, they messed up the basic German infantry rifle of World War II, the K98K. And I'm going to show you how they really messed it up. Whoever was working on the K98K did an atrocious job on it. One minor thing that he did is, for some reason, he has the sights elevated like halfway up, and that's how your guy shoots in the game. As far as I can tell, no other gun in the game do they have the sights elevated, just on the K98K. So you're shooting at like 1,000-meter sight setting at all times in the game. That's not the big offense, though. The big offense, though, is that they modeled the bolt wrong in-game. So when you go to reload this rifle in real life, this whole bolt moves back, right? In the game, when you open this rifle, they leave the claw extractor in place. This huge extractor on the side of the rifle just stays in this position, and the rest of the bolt moves instead. I don't know how they think that the bolt can just separate itself and the rifle still function, but that's not how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys see a clip of the reloading animation in-game. Pay attention to this spot right here on the gun, okay? You're going to see this claw extractor not move. Okay, did you catch that? For some reason, this guy just doesn't understand. Whoever modeled the K98K in-game doesn't understand how the bolt works. I don't know if he never actually held one, if he's just looking at pictures, or if he was able to get his hands on one and look at it, but he never actually, like, took note of how this thing functions. Now, here's the embarrassing part. There are multiple 98 Mauser actions in-game. There's the G33/40 Mountain Carbine. There's a VZ24. There's other Mauser actions in-game. And they get it right. When you go to reload, the claw extractor moves back with the bolt. So they got it right in-game for the other Mausers, just not the K98K. Okay, did you guys see? Were you paying attention to this spot when the animation pulls the bolt back? The claw goes with it. So somebody at Gaijin who was animating these rifles and who was building the models for these rifles knew what they were doing, but they let somebody else who either didn't or was just too lazy to care mess with this. This is like one of the most important rifles that you're going to have the German troops using. This was the mainstay of the German military in World War II. And you've got the other interesting models in-game done right, just not the actual K98K. I don't know how they can mess that up. You get it right on another rifle, but not on this one. Obviously, in-game, the rifle still works, so gameplay isn't affected. But visually, every time I see that, it's just like an instant dose of cancer into my eyes. Okay, so those are the only two guns in the game that I've noticed that are broken. I haven't been able to play all the guns. I'm sure that there's something else that I'm missing, some little thing. However, those are the two that I noticed. And I really hope that Gaijin, moving forward, fixes those. Because this game is made for gun people. It's infantry-centered. There are vehicles in it, but they're not the main focus. I have a feeling that this game is made for guys who like guns, and people who are really interested in these guns are going to notice these mistakes, and it's going to irk them. That being said, I should point out the game is still only in beta, and it literally just released to open beta. So they're going to be changing a ton of stuff in the future, and they probably will fix this, especially once a bunch of people point it out. Another thing is, the game is free, so how much can I really complain? I didn't pay any money for it. The game's free. And that being said, I definitely recommend that people play it. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to continue to play it. But I couldn't just let that go. One, it was funny, and two, man, it really irked me. So, anyway guys, moving forward, I'm going to put some gameplay videos of the game on the channel. Hopefully you enjoy it, and maybe it'll attract some new viewers, and then they'll be able to see some more historical things instead of only video games. So guys, that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you laugh at the mistakes Gaijin made with these two rifles as much as I did.